NBC Sports presents a NASCAR championship event, the Ford 400, the final race in the Nextel Cup chase for the championship. 4 men, 400 miles for this trophy. 35 races and 14,127 miles, just 4 drivers are mathematically alive in the chase. The easy way to figure it out is this: if Tony Stewart finishes 9th or better today, he is the 2005 champion. Jimmie Johnson has finished 2nd in the standings the last 2 seasons. Jimmy, Carl Edwards, and Greg Biffle need to win and hope something goes wrong for Stewart. Last call for Rusty Wallace today. The '89 Series champ will retire following this race. There's no way to know exactly what might happen for the Miller driver tonight, but I can tell you he hopes that the lights for him are in victory lane. Rusty addressed his final drivers meeting just about an hour ago.
It's been a great ride. It's been over 23 years of racing, and I had a great time. You guys are awesome. We raced hard together, and I'll never forget the rest of my life, and it means a lot. I'm looking at Todd. We had some great races there, and Dale, I know you got a couple more years, but you'll be right behind me. And Tony, you've been a hell of a personality this year, buddy, that's for sure. And so it's either going to be, looks like Carl or Tony or Jimmy or Greg. One of you 4 is going to get this thing, and whoever gets it, just do your damnedest to respect the sport, because driving these cars is a privilege. It's not something that we just do. It's not many people get to do this, and I'm grateful that I got to do it. But I'm looking forward to life after racing. I'm looking forward to a lot of cool things in the sport and above. If I roughed anybody up along the way, I'm sorry. Didn't really mean it unless it paid more. But we'll have a good time. You guys have a great race today, and sponsors and NASCAR and the France family, thank you very much for 23 years of great race and a lot of fun. Thank you.
Ford. Gentlemen, start your engines.
Starting grid for today's running of the Ford 400. Carl Edwards, a championship contender on the pole, next to Ryan Newman, who won the Busch race here yesterday.
Casey Kane, potential winner on the inside of row 2. Kyle Busch, the winner last week in Phoenix, on the outside.
Row 3 on the inside, Mark Martin, and on the outside, Casey Mears.
Back in row 4, championship contender Greg Biffle starts alongside Jamie McMurray, his last ride in the 42 car.
On the inside of row 5, Dale Jarrett and Joe Nemechek takes the Army on the outside.
Row 6 on the inside, last ride for Dave Blaney in the 07 car. On the outside, 24, Jeff Gordon.
In row 7, Jeremy Mayfield and Kevin Harvick.
Rookie Reed Sorensen on the inside of row 8 will run full-time Nextel Cup in 2006. Jeff Burton on the outside.
Inside row 9, Matt Kenseth driving the 17th car. On the outside, Brian Vickers.
In row 10, you'll find Mike Bliss, and starting 20th in car 20 on November 20th, Tony Stewart, the championship leader.
Row 11 on the inside, Bobby Labonte, his last drive in the 18 car. David Strimmy, who will compete in 2006 for Ganassi on the outside.
Row 12, inside, Elliott Sadler likes his chances today. On the outside, driving the 4 car today will be Todd Bodine.
Row 13, Ricky Rudd, 788th consecutive start. Then he's going to step away for a while next to Sterling Marlin, who's leading that ride at the end of this race.
Scott Wormer on the inside of row 14 and Kevin LePage on the outside.
Row 15, Jeff Green on the inside, and Travis Kvapil starts outside of row 15.
In row 16 on the inside, Scott Riggs and Jimmie Johnson, second in Nextel points on the outside of 16th row.
Take a look at the rest of the starting grid today, and Wally's going to jump on the radio.
Let's see if we can get a hold of Mark Martin. Hey, Mark, this is Wally in the booth. Can you hear me?
Hey, Wally.
Well, you've had a fun weekend. You've raced everything that's been here, trucks and the Busch car. How's your Cup car today?
Oh, man, this thing is really good. I got a great car here with the Viagra Ford and really fantastic team on pit road. If this racetrack will come to us a little bit, you know, going into the darkness here, and we make right adjustments, I think we can have a good shot to win this thing.
Well, you guys have been awfully strong this year. I know you got a lot of people pulling for you today, so good luck.
Hey, Wally, I appreciate it, and I'd just like to say if we don't win it, I'd sure like to see Rusty Wallace win it or Ricky Rudd.
We're with you on that, Mark. Good luck today.
Championship.
And last year, the margin, 8 points, as Kurt Busch won the title. Pace car to pit road. Carl Edwards brings them to the green flag. The Ford 400, the championship race, is underway.
And Carl Edwards said he was going to talk to Ryan Newman about letting him lead that first lap. So far, it's looking good to get those 5 bonus points for the 99.
Ryan may not have a choice on that. Carl Edwards had a pretty good start.
Here he comes. Here comes Newman trying to spoil that bid for 5 points.
Edwards got it. 5 bonus points for Carl Edwards, one of the 4 championship contenders. Now Ryan Newman to the front. Laps are complete in the Ford 400, and the field has caught the leader, and Scott Wimmer has gone around right in front of championship contender Jimmie Johnson. It's the 11, Denny Hamlin.
He's got some contact with the 25 of Brian Vickers. Looks like someone ran in the back of the 11, and I guess it was the 25 car.
I would think you're right.
A lot of damage to that left front on Vickers' 25 car.
Watch what happened here. There's a 22, and look who's right behind him, Johnson in the 48.
That's what I was talking about, that low groove. It's hard to run down there and not spin out. And Jimmie, where do I go? Oh, man, that was close.
I guess the other two just got caught up slowing down. Vickers and Hamlin. He just, 22 car just got loose.
And right about there, Jimmie Johnson thinks his championship chances might be gone.
Got lucky.
Now let's watch behind where the camera zooms in on it.
On board with Rusty Wallace in the Miller Lite Dodge.
In front of you. Slow down. Good job.
They're all so lucky that 22
Races. Now, we talked about how tight pit road is and how good everybody was doing. Well, not everybody.
No, it's certainly tight when. See,
one lane, all the way out. Nope.
Do you hear that? All the way out. They're telling him he's clear. Ricky Rudd can't see that car coming. So they cleared him, and it was really their fault because the car was coming in. Those guys had those helmets on.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if that's a tire, if he's got a rub there, or if that's just from the pressures being low and it's hitting the top of the fender.
When I first saw it, I thought he'd made contact and just knocked the fender in a little bit, but you might be just low air pressure.
Matt Kenseth came onto pit road.
Whoa, he's got trouble.
Oh, he does.
Hold on to it, buddy. Hold on to it. 9's coming inside.
I don't know if he's got a. I mean, that's just. It doesn't look like he made contact, BP, but he may have some issues with that tire. Dave, what's going on with the 5 car?
Contact with a 37 car of Mike Skinner on pit road. It's the wrong kind of smoke.
Okay, so he does have a rub.
Exactly.
And check this, Dave Blaney going back by Carl Edwards for 2nd position.
They've been racing back and forth.
That Blaney's he's auditioning for a job.
Oh, we got a lead. Wow, Blaney is going for it.
I'm telling you.
Kyle Busch is in the wall. Caution is out.
Real loose there, KB.
Starts to go around. Nice move by Jamie McMurray, and there's championship leader Tony Stewart was right behind that.
Oh, he's lucky.
All right, we'll watch Tony Stewart. Just turns the car left. Good job, Tony.
It's also fortunate McMurray didn't turn into him. On board with Tony.
A lot closer from. It looks a lot closer where Tony sits.
Sure does.
Alan, you listening in down there?
Yeah, Tony came on the radio after he got by that, and he said, "Oh, my heart doesn't need any more of that."
The caution has just come out here at Homestead. Bobby Labonte, a spin on the backstretch.
Some damage to the right rear of the 18 car.
Watch the right-hand portion of your screen.
He just got loose by himself. Car got sideways, broke away from him when he was hard on the throttle.
And just touched the right rear fender or quarter panel as he came off the corner. Looks like these guys are going to have their hands full today trying to get these cars perfect around this Homestead-Miami Speedway. Looks like they are a handful.
It's going to be a disappointing end to a disappointing season for Bobby Labonte. His last ride in the 18 car.
Well, he hasn't lost a lap yet.
The rest of the guys off of pit road. Now let's show you what brought out the caution. 91 laps complete. David Stremme in the 39 car.
Yeah, the right front go down.
Right front tire goes flat. When that happens, these cars go straight ahead.
And Stremme took that straight to the garage. How about Harvick, Dave?
Crash.
Scott Riggs is in the wall. Elliott Sadler goes around him. Caution is out.
Well, let's see what happened here. There's Scott up on the high side, and he's just going to lose the car. You know, you carry so much speed on these mile-and-a-half racetracks, and it just doesn't take much for your car to get sideways. And the worst part about it is if your car is loose getting into the corners, there's not a whole lot you can do to save a race car when you lose it right here.
Just start sliding up the track, and there's nothing you can do, huh? Right. Don't expect the leaders to come to pit road, so we'll duck in a commercial break. Jeff Gordon is the race leader.
Just be smooth. It's inevitable. You'll pass him. 12 laps on tires.
Wow.
Almost like he was wiggling the car like he thought he had a tire problem, Dave.
So far, nothing like that reported, Wally. The car is very loose. And one thing he's been doing, talk about in-cockpit adjustments that the driver can make. The fans that blow air on the tires, he's been working with the right rear blower on that right rear tire. It either cools or makes, by turning it off, you make the right rear hotter and expand it and can loosen up the car. So you would assume he's now adding it to the back. But boy, he's losing a lot of positions. We'll keep an eye on this.
Feeling soft anywhere, but it's loose.
He's either got a problem or thinks he does.
Yeah, I was going to say, the way he was wiggling his car, when a driver wiggles a car like that, getting out the corner, you do that to see if you feel like you have a tire going soft. He's obviously being real careful right now. He thinks he's got something wrong because he's getting passed left and right.
He was 10th on the restart and now is 22nd. So he's lost 12 positions. The caution has just come out for championship contender Jimmie Johnson.
And the right rear tire has exploded on the 48 car.
It looked like it was low, and Biffle was right. I mean, the tire looked low when we got a shot of it. Got to listen to what that car's telling you. Jimmie Johnson knew something was wrong. Right in front of the leader, Jeff Gordon.
His teammate.
And there's the end of his championship hopes right there.
Jimmie Johnson, second in the championship. The last two seasons was hoping to get.
That is the leader in your mirror.
That's right. That is the leader. So he tries a little bit harder, but there's nothing he can do with that flat tire. And there we see the tire blow just before he spun. The outside tire lost the air.
And backed it in the fence left side.
And we heard him say, I don't know what this car is doing.
Well, like I said, I mean, he knew something was wrong with that race car.
Fluid tire.
And
great job. Good season. Go home.
Late June, July, into early August. You not only couldn't beat him, you couldn't get close to him. Drives for Joe Gibbs Racing. Trying to get his second series championship. Alan?
Well, Bill, Joe Gibbs Racing, obviously its founder and namesake is the famous football coach. That is J.D. Gibbs. Caution flag is out. We'll come back to that story.
Because this could change a lot of things. Certainly it protects Tony on the lead lap. He was 29.5 seconds behind Mears. Only about 2 seconds away from getting lapped. 16 to go.
But Ryan Newman, and we know how good he is on these short runs, he is back on the lead lap.
Matt Yoakum.
And Greg Biffle comes to a stop, talking about a two-tire change for the 16 as well as his teammate the 6 of Martin. Lug nuts are on. Both are away. Allen.
And Casey Mears going to get right side tires only. Long debate whether to pit or to stay out. You're always the one having to make the tough decision as the leader. Marty.
Alan, just like he promised at Texas, Carl Edwards told his guys, listen, if you get me out in the top 5, I will win this race, but I need 4 tires. Car a little too tight for Carl, and they will not be in the top 5 after this stop, guys.
No, not when everybody takes 2. But he's going to have an awfully fast race car for 10 laps.
The 30th position in this restarting formation. Dave Blaney stayed out. He is scored as the race leader. 11 to go, and the championship on the line. Mark Martin to the inside of Blaney, trying to follow Joe Nemechek.
Nemechek is a lap down in that 0-1 car.
Mark couldn't get it done, falls in behind Blaney. Dave Blaney, a driver looking for a ride for next season. And here comes Edwards charging through the field.
See that cape?
Oh, he goes by Jeff Gordon. He goes by Harvick.
He's going to go by a lot of guys because he's got 4 fresh. A lot of these cars have 2. So he's going to be a rocket.
2.4 seconds behind the race leader.
And Dave Blaney is driving away from these guys. Talking about Mark Martin, Casey Mears, Greg Biffle. Alan?
Hey, just to follow up quick, BP, I had a conversation with Greg Zipadelli. They did try in the very last second leave Tony out to get 5 points, but they didn't realize Dave Blaney had stayed out in front of them, and that was an attempt to get 5 points there. It was foiled by the 07 car.
Thanks a lot, Alan.
Well, all Stewart's got to do right now is just stay on the racetrack. He's in 15th spot. 17th spot is a lap down. So if he just keeps running, he's safe.
Battle for the lead. Here comes Mark Martin on the inside of Blaney.
Martin.
Pat Trosson encouraging Mark Martin to go get him. Marty.
BP, Dave Blaney's had a great car all evening long, just a little bit tight. Kevin Hamlin told me it was an easy decision not to pit for those guys. 3 wide.
Biffle
To the lead.
Man, where did he come from, Matt?
BP, I told you they keep working on that car, and Biffle knows that the 99, his teammate's coming. He's trying to lock in that 2nd spot in the points. What better way to do it? To win 2 years in a row is his cruise up on the wall.
Both these drivers made the chase for the Nextel Cup. This was going to be Mark Martin's farewell tour in NASCAR Nextel Cup racing. But Jack Roush needed a driver for that car for next year, asked Mark to stay. So Mark will make one more full circuit in the Nextel Cup series.
Mark got through turn 4 a little bit better than Biffle. If he can stay right there and get back to 3 and 4, he'll be able to make a move on him.
Tony Stewart runs 15th. That would lock up the championship.
Biffle was just a little bit better off at 2 that lap.
2 to go when they get to the line this time.
I think the last lap Biffle about hit the wall on turn 4. Had to check up a little bit. Boy, Pat Troston, you hear he wants this, and he wants it so bad. But probably so does Doug Richards, the crew chief for Greg Biffle.
Now Mark got through turn 2 awfully good that lap.
Lap and a half to go. Stewart still in 15th.
Smooth, one more time around.
Joel Edmonds, the spotter for the 16 car.
Mark goes to the bottom, picking up the throttle. He's got a pretty good run. He's there, right beside him.
Last lap of the season. Teammates Mark Martin and Greg Biffle fighting for the lead while Tony Stewart tries to hang on to his position to clinch the championship.
Oh, this is going to be good off of 2.
This has been Biffle's sweet spot off the 2nd corner.
Mark's there.
He's there.
And I think Mark's been better in 4.
Looks that way.
See if he can hold up. Boy, Biffle drove in deep.
Will it stick?
Oh, he's sliding up the track.
Out of 4, they come to the line. Wow. Greg Biffle wins the race. Watching for Tony Stewart. Tony Stewart is the 2005 NASCAR Nextel Cup Series champion.
And Greg Biffle, the first thing he asked, are we second in NASCAR Nextel Cup points?
Greg Biffle in a Ford celebrates his victory in the Ford 400.
Okay, Greg, look out. There's a lot of folks down there in front of you.
We're lucky guys to get to come and have the fun at the racetrack, spray the champagne, and enjoy all those fun things that come with winning. And I couldn't be any prouder of Tony. That's probably the biggest thing. Is this kid has we've been through some ups and downs, but being part of him maturing, and we won this championship because of him, because of his attitude, because of his winning ways, his efforts. You know, he could win in any car out there, so we're just proud to be part of it.
Tony said he wanted to win this championship for you because a couple of years ago maybe things weren't as smooth as they could have been.
That's what friends do. A couple of years ago I'd have given up a lot in my life just to see him as happy and as content in his life as he is today.
Congratulations.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Congratulations to Tony Stewart. We had a great night. Man, it was just it was close. I thought we were going to be able to pull it off, but we were just inches short, and I guess maybe we needed another lap, or maybe had a crash trying. You know, I raced Greg hard, and I raced him clean in the vice versa, and he was in front when it was over.
Sip and getting refreshed in victory lane before he climbs out in front of the championship stage. This should be wild. And the Nextel Cup Championship trophy. Tony's already been congratulated by Bobby Labonte, who is here. His crew chief, Greg Zipadelli, is here. Well, Tony, championship number 2. Congratulations.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Your thoughts?
Just excited. So happy that I could get Zippy this championship and do it the right way for him instead of with the hell that I put this team through in 2002. So just a nice way to get it done tonight.
Well, let's talk about tonight. It wasn't the race you were looking to have. Tell me about your evening.
Just where we were just way too tight all night. We could start off a little on the free side and just never got the balance. We kept sneaking up on it, but we knew we were better being a little too tight than we were being too free, so we just made small changes, and we could have done more to be more aggressive with it, but you know, we did what we needed to do and just kept our mind on the big prize tonight. We knew we didn't have a car good enough to win, so just did what we had to do to win this championship.
You talked about winning this second championship would mean 20 times more to you, or 10 times more, excuse me, than the first one did. You alluded to it earlier, but 2002, you won a title, but you didn't consider it to be everything you hoped it would be.
I put the team through a lot of hell. I mean, I've put this team through a lot of hell the whole time I've been with them, but you know, they've never given up on me. You know, we sat down at the end of the year last year and had a big team meeting, and just to see if I was even going to stay with the team, you know, whether they wanted me back or not, but thanks, buddy. And, you know, just had a heart-to-heart, and sometimes that's what teams have to do to get on track, and it wasn't. Well, at least it's Coke.
That wasn't me, man. That wasn't me.
Thanks, man.
Congratulations, man. Way to go.
Jeff Gordon.
But it was nice to finally do one right and do it right for Zippy. You know, he didn't want to win it the way we won it in 2002, and we won it right this time for him.
The team's over my back getting some good chuckles out of causing this commotion here.
Guys, it's going to be a long night with these guys.
Tell me about the stretch run. Your season really turned in June, and you began this incredible run over the summer months. The first part of the season, did you feel like a championship contender?
I feel like I need a shower right now more than anything, but you know, I was pretty hard on part of our shop early in the year. You need a shower now too, but You know, we weren't exactly where we needed to be early in the year, and you know, the engineering staff, I gave them a hard time, and you know, we went to a Michigan test and had a really good test, and it seemed like everything just clicked after that. We went back to Michigan a week later and finished second to Biffle, and just did everything that we needed to do after that. It seemed like you know, Daytona, we had been good in the spring there, we win. Go to the road course, we win, and then after that we really started pouring on these good finishes. So you know, it was nice to get on that string, and then you know, before today I think we had a stat of 18 top 10s out of 20 races. So you know, when you're doing that stuff, you're doing it right.
One person who's been an important part of your career is not here in person tonight. Joe Gibbs, a thought?
Yeah, did they win the game today?
Personally, I don't know. We've been talking racing for a few hours.
Yeah, we were, you know, all the team. It just shows how tight we are. We were all in the trailer before the race, not worrying about what we were doing, but watching the Redskins and, you know, rooting those guys on today. They were having a tough game. So, you know, hopefully they pulled theirs out. And I know Zippy, and I'm sure the guys are there in the locker room watching this thing too. So I want to say hi to Joe and all those guys and tell them thanks for everything. It's just, we miss Joe being here, trust me, because Joe is every bit as part of this race team as anybody else sitting here. So we're sorry we missed him today, but I guarantee you we're going to get a phone call from him here in a minute.
2005 will be a year you'll long remember because of your win at Indianapolis in August. I would assume this just puts it over the top.
Yeah, this is the icing on the cake for sure. You know, to win at home at the Brickyard was a race of a lifetime and a win of a lifetime for me, and then to be able to finish it off with a championship, I don't know how we could ask for a better year this year. This is absolutely perfect.
Tony, congratulations. Tough night tonight, but enough to get it done.
Yeah, it wasn't pretty, but we got the job done tonight.
There's your 2005 NASCAR Nextel Cup Series champion, Tony Stewart. He'll